Coming off of my last video where I was pissed off because of something that was going on, now we move on to something else that I'm probably going to be a little disappointed about. I don't know. We're just now reading into it. This is my first reaction to what they. This is the producer letter 3 for Action Game Maker. This one is titled Console Porting with W4 Games. We're already familiar with what's going on here. I think a lot of people probably are. I don't know. This isn't important to me really. I was hoping for more about the actual editor, possibly some more screenshots of the actual editor, some more, maybe another trailer, a more extensive trailer. That's what I was hoping for. I get the feeling I'm not going to see that, but let's read it. Hello again, everyone. Producer Moreno here with letter number 3. As you may have heard, we just announced that we're working with W4 Games to try and bring console porting support to Action Game Maker. So today I'd like to go over that in more detail. I really hope there's another letter sooner than later. Because I would really like to have more information about the actual editor and features and things of that nature. This is kind of, this could have been something different. Didn't have to be a letter. So today I'd like to go over the more. Due to Godot engine, which is what is powering Action Game Maker, being open source, it does not include consoles as build targets. As the Godot Foundation has publicly announced, console porting is not currently compatible with Godot's FOSS principles. Therefore, W4 Games was created in part to create the W4 console middleware so that Godot could gain access to consoles as a build target. About the agreement status. The recent announcement was to clarify that W4 Games and Gotcha Games are currently engaged in negotiations towards an agreement that would represent collaboration between the two companies. As such, it does not represent a final decision, but more of an intent to work towards an agreement, and therefore is still subject to change or in a situation we hope to avoid cancellation. So please temper any hype you are currently feeling. Generally, there are 2 points to the current. I actually am not feeling any hype for this at all. I was really hoping for a letter that finally touched more on the software side, maybe some screenshots of the editor. I want a better idea what's going on. This is not something I really actually cared about. So no worries there. I have no hype for this. Generally, there are 2 points to the current structure. Firstly, Gotcha Games will be working with W4 Games to help improve the environment for Godot and expand W4 Games services in the Japanese market via participation in Tokyo Game Show 2024. Secondly, Action Game Maker will be incorporating the W4 console middleware in order to allow games to be ported to consoles. Action Game Maker, console porting. W4 Games middleware. W4 consoles gives developers the power to port games made with Godot to consoles such as Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. You get it. Once the W4 consoles middleware is enabled, assuming a final agreement is enacted for Action Game Maker, these same consoles will be enabled as a build target, allowing developers to port their games. I'm sure everyone would like to know more. So let me answer. I actually don't care. I mean, not really. Not really. We're fixing to get a new Switch. We don't know what's going on there. I don't know. I hate to sound bitter, but I wanted to know when more about the software side of things. This letter doesn't really touch on what they've got going on under, as far as the editor. I'm hoping they make significant changes because the default Godot editor is it's a disaster. It's horrible. It's not good. I've tried using it. W4 Games middleware, blah 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 blah. Consoles. Assuming a final agreement is enacted for Action Game Maker, these same consoles will be enabled as a build target, allowing developers to port their games. I'm sure everyone would like to know more, so let me answer a few predictable questions. I've gotten none really. When will it become available? Action Game Maker is currently still under development, and we have not yet started implementation of the W4 consoles middleware. Currently, we are expecting the implementation to not be ready in time for the 2025 release of Action Game Maker. Our current development plan is to have it ready in 2026. Okay. See, then why not cover this later a bit more? Like, I don't know. I'm a bitter old fool. I just want to know more about the software other than this. This literally could have just been something outside of this. It could have just been. I mean, and it was literally reported over on this website over at, and I had it translated, of course. Let's see if I can hide that. There we go. Yeah, so I had it translated with Google Translate, and this is it. Like, there's literally an article about it, a news article. This is all we needed, was a news article. I didn't need a developer's, a letter from the developer. Action Game Maker is currently still under development. Blah blah blah. Plan to say ready in 2026. Will it support all major platforms? It would be best to say that it is not finalized at this time, as the middleware has not been implemented yet and is not fully available for. So why are we going over this if it's not something that's really ready for prime time? You could have talked about anything else about. I hope there's another letter this month. I don't want to wait to get more actual information about the software. Will a publishing contract with Gotcha Gotcha Games be required like it is for Pixel Gamer? Nope. Oh, really? For Action Game Maker, no publishing contract is required, so you are free. This tells me the software is going to be kind of costly. Because one of the reasons the software isn't too costly right now with Pixel Game Maker is because of the simple fact that they can also make money by publishing. So getting rid of the publishing, maybe they'll still allow for publishing. Maybe they'll still have an option to publish. But anyhow, for Action Game Maker, no publishing contract is required. So you are free to self-publish or find another publisher if that is what you wish to do. However, part of why Pixel Game Maker MV required a publishing contract was to provide the necessary testing equipment for console porting. With Action Game Maker and the W4 console middleware, developers will need to contact the platform holder directly and sign up as a, see, that's where they're getting you, and sign up as a platform developer. Once God damn it. Once authorized, my throat is trying to just hoarse up real bad. Once authorized, developers will need to produce their own testing equipment and then apply to access the console porting function of Action Game Maker for their desired authorized platforms. While this is more difficult for some developers, this makes Action Game Maker have the same flow as used by other game engines when it comes to development for consoles. What will it cost? The price is still to be determined. While W4 Games has announced a price table for the W4 console middleware, it is still an active topic of the discussion for Action Gamer. I can't talk. But yes, it is likely that there will be additional fees to access the console porting functions of Action Game Maker. Console porting functionality will greatly expand the number of platforms and thus players available to game developers who decide to select Action Game Maker as their engine. And I think it's a real dream for many developers to have their games playable on a console with that experience that only a console can provide. Thus, we are limited in how much we can say at this time due to the development stage we are at and without a final contract. It is something we take very seriously. We want to make sure that Action Game Maker comes to market in a shape that everyone is happy to see, and we are working hard to make that happy. I hope so. I really do. I really hope so, because currently I don't like, they were talking about just having godot be exactly the same. Like Godot was just going to be the same. It was just with some added features they were doing. I'm like, I don't want that. I want something closer to Pixel Game Maker, because that was easy to grasp and work around. I'm still I get a huge headache, more of a headache than with Pixel Game Maker. When I first used Pixel Game Maker, I had a headache, like, but it wasn't too bad. Like, it was made to be understandable and everything. I was just a little bitch. I don't feel that way about. I don't feel the same way about or not, no, about Godot as I do about Pixel Game Maker. But yeah. Console porting is a greatly expanded numbers. A real dream for many developers here. Is something we take very seriously. We want to make sure. Okay. Xbox is trademark Microsoft. Blah 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 blah. Who is W4 Games? Oh dear God! It was created in 2021 by the leaders of the Godot project, Juan Linietsky, Remy. I can't even pronounce these names. With the help of Nicola Faronato. I can't pronounce these words. The company was founded in Ireland. In Ireland! It's over in Ireland. Oh, it's the Irish. It's over in Ireland. The purpose of the company is to extend the godot ecosystem, or Godot, with additional products and services that the Godot Foundation is unable to provide, especially targeting professional game developers. In addition to the W4 console middleware, W4 Games is at work on other projects as well. A particular note is W4 Cloud, which includes player management, matchmaking, server hosting, and all the elements of multiplayer development and infrastructure a developer would need, and all designed with the needs of a Godot developer in mind. Dear God, my head. Hello! Whoa! Here we go! Yeah, let's go! Let's go. God, it is just Godot. Fuck me. So the title of this section is called Appearance at Tokyo Game Show 2024. From September 26th until the 29th, 4 days. Gotcha Games will have a booth at the Tokyo Game Show 2024. Hall 9 Indie Game Area 09W50. A section of the booth will be devoted to the Godot engine support. Devoted to Godot engine supported by W4 Games. This display will include a playable demo of Godot projects and additional information about W4 consoles and W4 Cloud will be provided. And, of course, Action Game Maker will be presented for the first playable game demo as a special for those who visit the booth. A brief look at the current in-development version of the editor will also be available. It is still incomplete with missing functions and is unoptimized, but it will give you a look at what is coming. We hope you will decide to come take a look. God. Demo images. Okay, so there's some images we can have a look-see here. Oh God, I need the image in a new tab. This is Godot. This is Godot. I mean, you still have the 3D thing you can click on. And they're like, oh, you're not gonna be able to use that. Oh dear God. This is messy. I hate Godot. I hate it so much. Godot is such a messy setup. It's insanely messy. Look at this play. Look at this. Like I booted up Godot. Everything's crammed together too much. Like you need to separate some things. And so far, this is literally just Godot. I'm assuming with their flowchart stuff put in for programming games and whatnot. But other than that, it's just, yeah. So then we have over here, this is one of my bigger problems about Godot. Everything's just kind of crammed together over here. All the materials and everything are crammed together. Like, here's what I would do differently. Here's what I would do differently. I would create some tabs over here. And I would separate images and audios and maps or whatever else goes in there, you know? I would separate things up a bit. Visual script action. I'm glad they showed some screenshots. This is early days, though. It is still early days. That's the other thing. This doesn't come out until next year. So it is early days, you know? So they have time to spruce it up more. Dear God. See, but this is why I keep asking people, or this is why I posed the question. Is this for Godot users, or is this for people who've been using Pixel Game Maker? Who is this for? Who are they? Who is this aimed at more? Godot users or people who don't use Godot? If it's the former and not the latter, it needs to be less like Godot. And it needs to be more like Pixel Game Maker. You're not going to get people on board with this editor. There's a lot of people that are going to look at this and they're just going to be like, nope, I'm good. See, there's a tab right here. So why couldn't they put tabs for the materials? I would love to see tabs for just separating things up a bit, just a bit. Like I would like to see materials, backgrounds, yada yada yada, be in something else. What do we got here? One screenshot of the editor. Yeah, I don't think they got a whole lot done. I don't know. I don't like Godot. I don't like the default Godot interface. I can't stand the interface. Um, I mean, if you're watching this video and you're familiar with the with all this stuff, let me know. Let me know. Maybe there's a way to actually change the work environment of Godot, like customize it somehow. And if there is such a way to do that, maybe tell me how, or point me where I can learn that. Because yeah. So then they have all this touch orb and dash. Look at the lighting stuff they got going on here. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, this is their auto tiles shit that they're using right here. Yeah, I don't care for their auto tile functions. I don't like their auto tile. So again, this is another maker by them. I won't be using the auto tile. It's yet another maker I will not be using the auto tile because I guarantee you it's maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be different from I don't know, maybe it is. But if it's not different enough from RPG Maker to where you can work with more tiles better, I don't know how else to say that. I'm not very interested. I'm also just not interested in this. That's why I'm asking people out there if you've used Godot, godot, whatever, and you know much about it, tell me, is there a way that you can change up the environment? Like if I want to change how the environment is displayed and things are shown and everything, how would I do that? How would I go about that? I need to know. Because if it turns out they're really not doing much to the editor and it's literally just Godot with a bunch of features similar to Pixel Game Maker for like flowcharts and everything, that's what we're seeing here. Then I don't like that, and I'm either not going to use it or I'm going to be begging somebody to teach me how to change up the workflow environment. I know, look, I know that you can actually tell these sections like this to be somewhere else. There's like a way to actually place these in different sections, but that's not what I mean. Like there's some intricate things I'd like to change, you know? I'd like to have something for finding the maps better and everything. I just want to sort things out. I don't like everything being crammed together in just these few sections. I would like to have some tabs and separate some things. That's what I want. That's what I think it needs to be. Now, I get the feeling, again, and I've said this before, this is going to come out and it's not going to go over well because of the interface, because people who have never touched Godot are not going to like it. And then they're going to be trying to figure out a way to make it different enough or, make it more like Pixel Game Maker. That way people feel a little bit more at home. I don't like the editor here. Also, when you're making a scene in Godot, something that I've noticed is that I don't see where the end of an area starts and begins. There's no border around it that tells you where the hell things are or aren't, when you're drawing. It's just, there's a lot that needs to be done. So that's all for this month's Producers Letter. Jesus Christ. There needs to be another one. Please look forward to the next one, which I plan to release in October. Thank you for your time, and I hope you will continue to support. Ooh, I'm gonna say some. I'm not gonna be rude. I'm just gonna be like, well, you know what? I don't know what to say. I'm not real. Uh, the porting thing is awesome. I'm not happy that it looks like it's just Godot with some additions. I hate the workflow of good. That kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Godot. I hate the workflow of Godot. Uh, it's just not good. It's just not good. There we go. So that's what I had to say to it on the phone. So this has been a 20-minute video discussing this. Oh, I can't do these any shorter. I can't do these any shorter. I'm trying to do these shorter, and I can't do it shorter. This is like as good as it gets. I just come off of 2 videos. This is insane. I, I feel like this didn't have to be a letter. They could have focused on other things. But they said there's like a usable demo or something rather, so maybe we'll see footage pop up for the for this. Let's go to all real quick. Let's see what it says. That's not what I meant to do. What? Oh my god, let's just go to Steam. Go to Steam. Go to Steam. Jesus Christ. Go to Steam. Thank you. All right, yeah. So yeah, it is literally just I hope they do more. They gotta do more. I'm noticing these rulers up there. I don't know if that's in default to Godot or not, but I'm not thrilled. I'm just not thrilled. And here's the fun fact. Stated I initially stated in the forums or the Discord that I was going to buy this software day one before I knew much of anything about it. Now that I've seen it and seen what the editor looks like, I can tell you right now, knowing that it's just Godot, I'm not as psyched about this. A lot's got to be proven. But there's a likelihood I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to wait. I would buy it day one and get on the ground floor, but the whole time I would just be complaining about the editor, and that wouldn't go over very well, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This is this has been the goof. Very frustrated. I'm out. You have a good one. Rate, comment, subscribe. Oh my God. Okay. Bye.